Good morning, BookTube. I thought I'd make a video here in the sunroom using my newest camera. I made two videos last night because I got hung up on that Exodus and the Passover and that whole trip. But my intention was to show you the used books I got yesterday at thrift stores, and I thought I'd do that right now as I'm sitting in the sunroom drinking a cup of coffee. It is 10:16 in the morning here in West Michigan. It's the last day of August 2017. Tomorrow is September the 1st, and existence keeps flowing by. So this morning I was reading the book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa, my new edition. This is the complete edition. I got this in the mail this week. I couldn't get into my Christian books this morning. Just couldn't get into them. So yesterday I picked up at a thrift store the novel The Writers, Tim Winton. He's a writer I just came across. He's Australian. And I found this. I have another book by him I picked up recently, Dirt Music. So now I have two novels by this Australian writer. So I found that. And then I found this book on the Cold War, A New History by John Louis Gaddis. A couple years ago I read Gaddis's biography on George F. Kenyon, American Life, and I really enjoyed this biography. It says here, in the late 1940s, bright but relatively obscure American diplomat named George Kenyon set out the strategic vision that could define United States policy toward the Soviet Union for the next 4.5 decades. It would propel Kenyon to dizzying heights of influence and bring him lasting bitterness and regret. Based on exclusive access to Kenyon, his archives, this masterwork by one of our greatest Cold War historians reveals as never before the brilliant, tortured thinker who became an outspoken critic of the very tragedy that made his name a profound work of history and biography. George F. Kenyon is a brilliant portrait of a man and an era he shaped. So I got his book on the Cold War, which is a good find, so I can go to that. I also have in our library the Kenyon Diaries. I really got into him a couple of years ago, and I have other books of his downstairs in the lower level. So I got that. And then I picked up another novel by Louis Bayard, The Black Tower. I had in our library two other ones by him, The Roosevelt Beast and Mr. Timothy, and then I found his novel The Black Tower. He writes historical fiction, so I got those. And then I picked up a Dan Simmons. It's kind of like a horror fantasy historical fiction, The Black Hills by Dan Simmons. I've been looking for his novel The Drood, D-R-O-O-D, Drood. But this looked really interesting. It says here, in 1876, amid the chaos and bloodshed of the Little Bighorn battlefield, a young Sioux boy impulsively decides to show his courage by harmlessly counting coup on a dying soldier. But when he lays hands on General George Armstrong Custer, precisely at the instant of the general's death, 11-year-old Peha Sepa, whose name means Black Hills, can't know that their brief contact will result in years of uncanny connection. For that moment or so, Sapa believes that Custer's ghost enters his body and mind and will remain within him for many event-filled decades to come. Haunted not only by Custer's ghost voice, but also his ability to see into the memories and tortures of men like the Sioux War chief Crazy Horse, Sapa is driven by a dramatic vision he experienced as a boy in his people's sacred Black Hills. In August 1936, as a dynamite expert working on the massive Mount Rushmore project, Sapa plans to silence his ghost forever and reclaim his people's legacy. On the very day Franklin Delano Roosevelt comes to Mount Rushmore to dedicate the Jefferson face. So I got that. And I picked up this biography, The Lost Tudor Princess, The Life of Margaret Douglas by Alison Weir. And I picked up this book, The Therapeutic State, Justifying Government at the Century's End by James L. Nolan Jr. And I picked up this historical fiction, Marrying Mozart. And here's biography, The Plantagenets, The Warrior Kings and Queens Who Made England by Dan Jones. And then I picked up this book on early American history, 46 pages, Thomas Paine, Common Sense and the Turning Point to Independence by Scott Liell. So I picked up these used books. I got these all for about $5, all these books. Well, some of these I had in my library already. But I'm always collecting new authors like Louis Bayard or Bayard. So now I got 3 for our library. And I like this. I looked at this book yesterday, The Therapeutic State by James L. Nolan Jr. Looks like a really fascinating read. And then I collect biographies on British history. You know, queens, kings, poets, writers, intellectuals like that when I've been reading Isaiah Berlin. In this book by Dan Simmons, I have another book by him, Flashback, but this story really intrigued me, that's why I got this. It's only 90 cents. And then I collect books on the Cold War, and then I got this new writer. I started collecting this Australian writer, Tim Winton. Now I have 2. So that's the used books I got yesterday. And like I said, I've been reading this morning the book of Disquiet. And that's it. Today is the last day of August. I plan just to drift through this day. Yesterday, after coming home from thrift stores, I mowed the lawn and chopped some plant growth in our backyard. And last night I made 2 videos. And so that's it. That's what's going on here. I hope you will have a good day, and I don't know if I'll make another video. My wife is off for a couple of days, and I don't got any books coming in the mail. I don't plan to go anywhere. Well, Saturday we go to Grand Rapids to celebrate our granddaughter's 3rd birthday, and I thought about going to used bookstores in Grand Rapids, but they're very expensive. You spend $12, $16 for a used book, which to me is outrageous, when I can pick up a book like this for 90 cents, and if I bought this at a used bookstore in Grand Rapids, it cost me $10. So that's kind of crazy, isn't it? So I'll sign off, hoping you're having a good day, and until next time, bye.